Good morning. Welcome to the September Assessment and Accountability webinar. I'm Kevin Whitman, the Director for Assessment and Accountability. Just a couple housekeeping notes that we wanted to start with. Please submit your questions in the questions box. The PowerPoint slides are available as a document. And as always, the presentation is recorded and we'll be posting this afterwards. The turnaround time is typically 10 days. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Paul Kleiner to talk about NAEP.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to give the NAEP announcement for right now. We just received word that there would be big changes in NAEP selection this year. Student selection is going to be about half of the original amount, and school selection was just redrawn. What this means for you is we can't yet distribute the school selection. The time for preparing for NAEP is coming, so sending out the letters will happen very soon. These letters will be from Superintendent Ibarra and will be distributed to LEA superintendents and test directors. Soon after, I will distribute school selection letters to principals, and we will get the ball rolling on the rest of the process. Thank you for your inquiries so far. Remember, this is a national test administration, and so the ball is a very large one that is slow to roll. I will keep you updated as NAEP moves forward. Please let me know if you have any more questions.
All right, good morning, everyone. This is Andrew Bennett here to give you some ELPA updates. So, if your district hasn't done so already, districts are asked to submit current access district test coordinator and district site information to the SDE by September 11th. This can be accomplished by completing the JOT form survey linked here. And the information collected will be used to send district test coordinators important information and updates concerning access throughout the year. And the site information collected will also be used to send out pre-ID labels, test materials, and reports for Access 2020-2021. All right, this year, the annual WIDA conference will not be happening. However, this opens up a new opportunity for all Idaho educators to participate in the WIDA eSummit. The eSummit is a free virtual learning opportunity that will be happening between October 12th to October 30th. So please mark your calendars. Each week of the eSummit will have a designated theme with multiple webinars, and the weekly themes include Introduction to the WIDA ELD Standards 2020 edition, Teaching Multilingual Learners, and WIDA Assessments. A valid WIDA Secure Portal account will be required to access the eSummit sessions and recordings, and if your educators would like to participate and do not yet have an account, district test coordinators may make an account for them, or they may request an account by going to the account request link at the bottom of this slide. For more details, go to the WIDA eSummit webpage listed below, or by going to the WIDA website. All right, an updated version of the English Language Support Services identification procedure for use during extended school closures has been posted on the ELPA webpage. The procedure outlines how districts can conditionally identify provisional Ls for English Language Support Services prior to being formally screened. The updated version incorporates two options now for collecting a child's English language proficiency skills to make a determination to provide provisional services or not to. This guidance should only be used when students cannot physically be in attendance to take either the WIDA screener or kindergarten WAPT. Once schools reopen, provisional Ls are required to complete the kindergarten WAPT or WIDA screener to verify LIEP eligibility. Right, a series of English language proficiency assessment specific vignettes have been created, recorded, and posted to the English language proficiency assessment webpage under the trainings tab. These vignettes will assist the field in understanding the role of the various WIDA screeners that pertain to the L identification process, and also provides an overview of the action items district test coordinators should be cognizant of before, during, and after an access administration. These vignettes or PowerPoint presentations have an average length of only 7.5 minutes, so check those out. All Idaho educators now have the opportunity to complete 6 self-paced eWorkshops from September 1st, 2020 to July 30th of 2021. The WIDA eWorkshops allow participants to expand their understanding of how to effectively support multilingual learners within a variety of different content areas. These eWorkshops are not only for classroom teachers, but are also for administrators, coaches, and professional learning communities. Schools may also use the eWorkshop series as an in-school professional development opportunity. To get started, participants will first need a WIDA secure portal account if they don't already have one. And WIDA district test coordinators can set up accounts for district personnel within the WIDA secure portal. And once educators are signed into the WIDA secure portal, select the WIDA Learning Center tile to select a desired topic of interest. Complete the workshop and print your certificate. Last, use the information you learned to increase English language use and understanding within your school and classrooms. Okay, so this fall, Northwest Nazarene University, in collaboration with the SDE Assessment Department, is offering the opportunity to attain 1 professional development credit by completing 2 of the WIDA eWorkshops mentioned in the previous slide. The course prepares grade 1 through 12 educators to effectively use the WIDA writing rubric to plan, apply, and evaluate students' written language use. Throughout the course, educators will apply WIDA's writing rubric to analyze their students' language use at the discourse, sentence, and word phrase level. By completing this course, educators will learn how to identify and provide future targeted writing instruction. Participants will also become familiar with the best practices and strategies within their classrooms that respond to the social and emotional needs of English learner newcomers. All right, again, the 2020-2021 access specific dates have been posted to the ELPA webpage and are available for your review. The access test window, again, will open on January 25th, 2021 and close on March 5th, 2021. Okay, 2020-2021 is an access recertification year. District test coordinators and school test coordinators can and should review test administrator training and certification records by selecting the account management and training status tile within the WIDA secure portal. This application lists the training records for district staff who have completed the required training sessions for each of the grade level sections. It's also advisable to inactivate personnel who are no longer with your district. District test coordinators and school test coordinators should keep a printed copy of each staff member who will be handling materials or proctoring access at the site where an access session will be given. Training webinars and quizzes can be found on the WIDA secure portal. The WIDA webinar series has been posted onto the ELPA webpage under the training tab. Below is information on the upcoming webinars through September 2020. Specific WebEx webinar links are embedded into the titles. A tip to make sure you don't miss out on the information covered is to save the webinars into your calendar under webinar section of the training tab. You may import the information into your specific school calendar, select the green floppy disk icon, and then choose what calendar to import the calendar to. So you don't forget about these great opportunities. And with that, I will open myself up to any questions you may have.
Does the state have guidance for remote L services?
There are some resources, I believe, posted to the federal programs page, but I would be more than willing to send those out right after our meeting. I have a couple of resources that are available.
Excellent. All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Kevin Chandler here at the department. Just a few updates for science. First up, a big thank you to everyone that has already signed up for our content fairness review workshop. That's going to be occurring in October. Of course, that will be a virtual workshop, but we will be having a committee for each of the grade bands, elementary, middle, and high school. If you have not already, go ahead and register via the job form that's linked here. The deadline to register is September 25th. I will notify participants of your selection to participate in these meetings on October 2. And we will be providing substitute reimbursements for this meeting. Next up, I want to talk about our interim and practice tests. We do have science interims available this school year. They're basically the same ones we had last year, but they are going to be available via our TA app, AVA, or even remote administration. We will have interims for elementary, middle school, and high school. The blueprints are posted on the ISAT portal, and we also have answer keys for all of those interims posted inside under the general resources. Make sure you keep in mind that these interims are secure so that you handle the items and the answer keys in a secure fashion. I also want to give everyone a heads up on a all-new practice test for science. It's going to be available on September 30th. We are going to have a brand new practice test for elementary, middle, and high school. And we will have, of course, a blueprint and answer keys for those practice tests coming soon after. Keep in mind that these practice tests are available for everyone. So not only the students and teachers, but parents, grandparents, guardians, principals, anybody that wants to log in and take these practice tests as a guest user, they can certainly do that so they can get more familiar with the types of clusters and standalones that we will have on the new ISAT science test. Okay, next up are our science specifications. So I promised these several times last year, and during the spring, myself, Morgan, and Taylor worked really hard on formatting these, getting these ready and accessible for all populations, and we finally had these posted on the ISAT portal. So a couple of reminders about these science specifications. These are documents that our professional test developers use in order to create the clusters and standalones that are going to maybe appear on the ISAT science. They are going to be aligned to the Idaho State Science Standards, and each one of those Idaho State Science Standards has its own specification. So make sure you download those, take a look at those, and get familiar maybe with the clusters and standalones that could be generated for the test. And then, of course, it's not too early to start thinking about the Spring 21 summative. So to give everyone a heads up, please plan accordingly. We are planning to have our independent field test in Spring 21. That means, of course, we will not have any kind of individual student reports or reported scores, but student participation is required for grades 5, 8, and 11. So make sure that you keep that in mind. Looking beyond that, for a Spring 22, we will be providing individual student reports and also scores provided after our Summer 22 standard setting meeting. Any questions for science?
I don't have any questions for science, but I do have another one for Andrew. Dave Harrison asks, is the SDE uploading students into DRC using ELMS data again this year?
Bear with me. I have a kindergarten class going on right behind me, but yes, we are going to be uploading the pre-ID file from ELMS data. So make sure that the IC data that you are submitting, the enrollment data, is correct.
Thank you.
Excellent. So I'm going to take on the ISAT update, so I'll turn it over to myself. First up, I want to go over a brand new resource that we have. Proud of it, so I want to tout it for everybody. It is the CAI Systems User Role Chart. So we have a couple of other new systems that we're launching this school year, and we have a couple of other user roles that we have this school year as well. So I wanted to create a resource that summarizes both of those. So you can see here on the left is a chart that summarizes all the different systems that we have available right now. Reporting, authoring, tools for teachers, and the interim assessment item portal are going to be those new systems that I talked about. We also have a user role chart that's seen here. So it basically lays out the hierarchy of all those different user roles and how they're all connected to each other. Please watch for updates to this user role chart. We've already worked with our regional math coordinators to get some input on maybe a new user role that we can create to better access the systems that they need. So watch for updates to this user role chart. Next up, I want to go over some of the systems that Cambium already has up for us. First up is Tide, of course. Make sure if you're logging in for the first time, you reset your password. This is where DCs can go in and manage users, adding or deleting them. And of course, after that, rosters of students can be created. We have user and quick guides already posted on the ISAT portal. Next up is the TA certification course. It is required for anyone administering an interim or a summative using the TA app. I have already taken it, and I am certified to give tests this school year. It takes about 30 minutes to do that. We also have a user guide posted on the ISAT portal. Next up is a pretty big announcement. We talked about this last year, but I want to make it really clear for everybody this year. We will have a brand new system that will house both our summative and interim student performance data. That is the new reporting system. So all the data that was in the online reporting system, or ORS, has been moved over to reporting. ORS will be available till the end of the month. So if you want to log in one more time and take a look at the data there, be sure to do that. But I want to give everybody a heads up that everything now is available in reporting, and we will have user guides and quick guides that go along with the reporting system coming very soon. Next up is an update on our secure browser. Cambium Assessment has generated a new secure browser for us. The deadline to use last year's secure browser was August 30th. So make sure you download and install the new secure browser for this school year today. As I mentioned with the science section, ELA and math also have sample and training tests. Those are housed under the panel shown. sample training test administration. We also have some quick guides available. And then, as I mentioned for science, we will have those available on September 30th. ISAT Interims, just an embarrassment of riches here with resources that go along with our interim assessments. We will have ELA Math and Science. They are available now. You can administer those with the TA app, with AVA, or remote administration. We have a guide that goes along with our supporting remote administration. Make sure you access that on the ISAT portal. We also have an overview, a planning checklist, and summaries that detail the number of items on each one of the interim assessments available now on the ISAT portal. I also wanted to tout a new upcoming interim assessment. We are calling it the Shortened Interim Comprehensive Assessment, or SICA. That is going to be coming soon. We will have lots of other resources to support the SICA. Also want to give a shout out to our Tools for Teachers. We have a preview opening right now. If you have a user role in Tide, you have a user account to log into Tools for Teachers. They are planning a grand opening on September 30th, so make sure you log in to discover new educator-created lessons and activities. And then lastly, this is a really great resource that Smarter is continuously updating. They really front load the formative assessment strategies and the interim assessment strategies that you can use throughout the school year. It includes some really helpful do's and don'ts for administering those interim assessments, and then also some accountability considerations as well. So make sure you log in and take a look at the supporting remote teaching and learning resources that Smarter has produced for us. And then, like I said, for the science, it's never too early to start thinking about the Spring 21 summative administration. Please plan accordingly. We will plan to have a summative administration. Grades 3 through 8 and 10 are required. We are working very closely with our testing vendor for in-person and possibly remote testing administration for our summative assessment. So please watch for any kind of updates, planned trainings, updates in our webinars and newsletters will follow for how we're going to be administering the Spring 21 summative assessments. Any questions for ISAT?
Jody Barnes asks, there was talk in the past of getting ISAT to sync with PowerSchool. Is that still in the works?
I don't know for sure. We'll have to follow up on that, Jody, but we can take a look and see if we can track down any information on that topic for you.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. All right, now I'll turn it over to Elena with our IRI update.
Good morning, everyone. So I want to start this morning talking about our fall administration. You can find information regarding remote IRA administration on the SDE IRI webpage. Please keep in mind that training is required prior to administration of the IRI. You can see the updated 2020-2021 test administration manual for detailed information and requirements around training. And the fall testing window is open. Stays open through the 25th of September, but we want districts to know that you may extend that testing through September 30th. Next thing to know, we would like to ask you for feedback. Please take 5 minutes and complete the brief survey that you can find at the link below. It's going to ask you some quick questions regarding your fall IRI administration. We'd ask that you have these survey responses submitted to us by noon on Friday of this week, September 11th, so we can plan accordingly and make sure we're meeting the needs of the field. New for fall 2020, district access to manage your at-home remote administration can now happen inside the app through subscriptions. This is going to allow districts to turn on and off remote access to the ISAP at home by classrooms or individual students. Managing subscriptions can be turned off through the administration tab. You can also turn it on through the administration tab, which will enable ISAP remote administration for all students. Keep in mind, there is new guidance regarding IRI test incidences. We're going to ask that you access the IRI test incident log should an incident occur in your district. Manager level users should only schedule up to 2 on-demand subtests during state windows. This is different than prior years. If more than 2 subtests require a reset, please go into that test incident log and request that those be reset. Additional information regarding this new guidance can be found in the 2020-2021 Test Administration Manual. Some training for IRI that's currently available. We again are offering our online training course for teachers. Graduate credit is available through NNU. You can sign up by visiting edmodo.com and entering the class code that you see on your slide. This course will be available in the fall and again in the spring for teachers or anyone who works with the IRI. Some virtual professional development vignettes are also now available on the SDE IRI assessment page. You will find quick, less than 10-minute recorded vignettes on administration of IRI, utilizing the modeling features. Some of the accessibility features are available, and how to administer IRI to students who are deaf or hard of hearing. If you want to share this training information with others in your district, you can access the training flyer at the link on the slide. Lastly, we have an accessibility update for you. Our DHH training and guidance is complete. Please ensure that all students identified as deaf or hard of hearing participate in the fall IRI. The blind and visually impaired guidance and training is also complete, with a caveat that if students are identified as print learners with a functional learning media assessment, we want those students to participate in the fall IRI. Unfortunately, due to COVID concerns and shutdowns, our Braille IRI materials for fall 2020 will not be available. Look for those to be printed and made available for spring 2021 administration. Questions?
We have a few. Do you want us to share the survey link with our district teachers or just select staff?
Great question. Please, if you are the district testing coordinator, complete that survey link. Also, feel free to send it to superintendents. Our audience for that would be superintendents and district testing coordinators.
Do we need to make a request to notify the Department of Education if we need to use the extra 3 school days in September to finish the IRI?
Great question. No need to notify us. Go ahead and take those extra days through September if you need them.
How will we know if we've been approved for remote testing for IRI after email sent to iStation and SDE?
So you will receive back, when you send that email, directions on how to manage the subscriptions within your own system. You will have full control over who takes the remote IRI and who takes the IRI in a brick and mortar school. If you need additional support with that, you can reach out to support@isation.com or you can call myself.
Last one, did the extra time accommodation go away for the IRI? It is no longer in the TAM.
Yes, good catch. The time extension that is in the IRI is limited to and has been limited to only students who are deaf and hard of hearing, blind or visually impaired, or students with a significant cognitive disability. So we've made that guidance very clear in the TAM this year.
Thank you. I have 2 students who have chosen to homeschool this year but still want to take state testing. How do we accommodate?
So students who are homeschooling can participate in assessments, but that's up to the LEA that they work with if they want to do that. So that would be a coordination between the LEA and those homeschool students and their parents. So that is something you can do, but it's something that is a local decision about how you want to work that out.
Hi, everyone. So Morgan posted the newsletter. Since the school started, we're doing bi-weekly newsletter again. Please review the latest newsletter for important updates, including January eSAT and MSQT date, counselor workshop date, parental notification letter, book registration and TOS training, fall versus spring quick guide, book registration code, and what should I be doing right now list. And if you don't know what newsletter we're talking about, you can go to our Resource Center website or the Coordinator Planning website to subscribe to our newsletter. So I didn't want to go over the same topics that I already discussed in the newsletter, so decided to go over some recently asked questions today. I'm going to talk about how to identify who needs to participate in the fall SAT, COVID-19 related issues, grade level covered by the state contract, and January key SAT and MSQT date. So we wanted to make sure that everyone understands what's being waived so far by the State Board of Education. grad requirement waiver only applies to seniors who would have taken it during the 2020 administration, and that was from March 23rd board meeting. And so I'd like you guys to ask yourself, your students were considered seniors last spring, and just wanted to clarify, it's not the class of 2020, it's those seniors who would have taken it during the 2020 administration. So if you have any early graduates this year that they were senior at the time, that they are going to graduate by December, think about those kids if they would meet this requirement of this waiver. So grad requirement exemption only applies to students meeting alternate assessment eligibility criteria, enrolled in the LEP program for 3 academic years or less, or transferred from out of state to an Idaho high school in grade 12. These are the exemptions outlined in IDAPA rule. I'd like you to ask yourself if your students meet the above criteria to see if they're exempt from the SAT, fall SAT this year. And this is new that we wanted to release since you guys are getting so many questions from the parents and students who needs to participate, and if they have any concerns related to COVID-19, we're releasing this guidance now. The full participation is exempt if students transferring in after the registration, if a child is being homeschooled, or if a child is being refused to participate due to health concerns, or parent is refusing to participate due to health concerns, or they are quarantined due to COVID-19. So this is important that this is not an exemption from the graduation requirement, since that's at the board and we can't control that. But unless such requirement is waived by the board, the students are expected to participate in spring SAT. And if any of your kids meet this exemption, then you wanted to update the TOS accordingly. The TOS deadline is next week. And some people ask me what happens if a school closes due to COVID-19, or if you guys are just doing online virtual instructions on the day of school, SAT school day. If that happens to you, please consult with your LEA, local school board, and or health department. And I know there are 2 cases. One, you still wanted to host the SAT despite the school closure. The others are worried about if they should be hosting the SAT school day when the school is closed. So it is up to you guys to decide, but please let the college board know as soon as possible if the school day gets canceled. And regarding COVID-19 testing protocols, please follow local guidelines and communicate all requirements to your students ahead of test day. There are some of the procedures the college board has approved and supported, and those are listed on the screen right now, requiring or providing face masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, or other PPEs, spacing students at least 6 feet apart or to adhere to social distancing guidelines, and encouraging kids and staff to practice regular hand washing and stay home if they're sick. If you have any questions, you can call the college board to discuss any specific COVID-19 related guidelines that you have at your school. And state contract only covers the cost of fall SAT for all seniors, for PSAT and MSTT for all sophomores, and spring SAT for all juniors, and only those seniors who missed the fall SAT. And it is up to you to book registered students not covered by the state contract and older materials for them. So if any of the juniors wanted to participate in fall SAT, you certainly can, but please know that the state will not pay for the juniors to participate in fall SAT, for example. And this is important. I already covered this in the newsletter, but I wanted to reiterate here. The January PSAT NMSQT date has been added. If you wanted to take this opportunity instead of or in addition to the October PSAT NMSQT date, please update the intake form, update your test material orders in TOS, and submit book registration file for January PSAT NMSQT. The TOS and book registration system will be updated in mid-October, so if you go there right now, you don't see it, so please keep that in mind. Do you have any questions?
We do have one. Are students allowed to bring and wear their own mask, or do we need to plan to provide a disposable mask to each student during the PSAT and SAT?
I would contact college board, but I haven't heard anything that kids cannot bring their own PPE, but I would double check this.
All right. So just a little heads up that our next webinar is going to be at 10 a.m. on October 14th. You can find the link to register below, and you can also see past webinars in our resource center. And we'll keep the floor open for a bit for any final questions.
We do have a question. Have the report cards been updated for 2019-2020 school year?
That is a great question. Not yet. So it will be coming soon. We're still finalizing a few things with our report card vendor on displaying the data for that year because there were some of the COVID-19 disruptions. So we're just doing the final testing on that, but that should be available soon. All right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you taking the time to listen. And in between now and the next webinar, as always, feel free to contact us at any time if you have any questions or we can be of any help. Thank you.